Tuned in to the Modest Men Podcast.
Yeah, we back for another episode. Welcome to the Modest Men Podcast with Jason and Justin. What up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Shit, we back again. We back. It's been a while. Yeah, episode number 10. Yeah, we are here in this sunny time of the year. So much beautiful in the summertime.
I mean, it's not all the way. It's not summer yet, though. It's not summer till your birthday.
It's summer right now, though. I'm just gonna say that. But you're right. It's the official day is the 21st. My birthday is the 22nd, so it's a nice little stretch of, you know, Father's Day, summer, official first day of summer, and then my birthday. So I always say my birthday is summertime. So you're right. But how's the weather, bro?
Yeah, that's. Well, I mean, for real, the weather right now, it's downpouring outside. You know, my dog won't go use the bathroom. You know, it's.
That's
I think the Guardians are in the rain delay. I mean, it's coming down. I mean, but other than that, I mean, it's, you know, school just let out for, you know, most of the kids now, and it's summer vacation, and you know, it's the season, it's the outdoor season. So we're trying to, you know, at the restaurant, I'm trying to get things situated for the outdoor patio and all that whatnot.
Yeah, shout out your restaurant again, man. So people, listeners in the area can go see you.
I am the sous chef at Aurelia Honest Food and Drink. It's a bistro over in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. It is farm to table, and we do everything, you know, locally. We only mess with farmers. We only mess with, you know, local people who have farms with, you know, cattle and the whole nine. So, you know, come, you know, check us out on Instagram, Honest Food and Drink, or Aurelia Honest Food and Drink, all one word. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. You know, support local business, you know, support farm to table, support good food, you know, all that good stuff. Outside of that, I mean, what else is going on? My wife, she's studying for her board exam to be dual certified in children and babies for, you know, her certificate. She's getting ready to. She just got her date for the exam for that, so that's coming up. Okay. That is the week after her birthday, Wednesday the 13th. And what else is going on? Our neighborhood garage sale is that previous weekend of her birthday. So we got to get ready for that. We got, you know, we're going to finally try to get rid of all the stuff in the basement. And, you know, we have, Grandma Esther's stuff after she passed. We're going to try to sell some of that. And what else is going on? I mean, it's just a lot coming. So, you know, it's just you know, a lot of things happening, a lot of things moving. Aaliyah's still in dance. She's moving up to conservatory ballet, which is your traditional ballet.
To know that boogie is real.
You know, she's doing that this summer and doing camps. I think she's doing lacrosse. I think she's doing horseback riding. I don't know. Okay. Man. I know where I gotta be and when I gotta drop her off, and that's about it. How's the weather with you, man?
Oh man, you know, it's that's about to say the Guardians had a rain delay yesterday too, right?
Yeah, it was a double header yesterday. But even that was delayed.
Okay, that's crazy. Man, the weather's fine over here. However, we haven't really been seeing too much of it. Actually, I'll take that back. Sunday, it was weird. We had a little bit of a rain, we had our closing ceremony for our baseball league. And it rained. It rained Saturday night and Sunday. It was like this little misty rain, and then it kind of started pouring. I was like, man, it's June. Like, what is this? So Carl the Fog rode in and poured on us. So Carl, when you hear this, you gotta stop the shit, man. We in the East Bay, man. We are not in the city. All right, just letting you know. So but yeah, man, COVID has struck the house of the Jenkins household. Haven't said this publicly, haven't put out a tweet. You know, I don't even think it's like a thing anymore. You remember people used to post like, we got COVID, our whole household got COVID shit. And it's like, man, like we told a few people who we were around, but I mean, other than that, yeah, we got COVID, man. So we feel okay. Blake still has like a runny nose, and she was the first one that got sick. She had a like sore throat, and I still get my kisses, and then I got it, and it was weird, man, because like I was just like random day. It was a Tuesday,
right?
totally fine. Spent a whole bunch of time outside, and then all of a sudden, like I got really stuffy. And then Wednesday, like I just kind of felt like my throat was a little sore, but I just thought it was just like allergies because like I stopped taking my allergy meds, a few months ago. And so I took some Flonase, and then it traveled down to my chest. And on Thursday, man, I slept horribly that night. And I woke up Thursday and was trying to drink some tea. I didn't have a voice, and I was coughing. And that cough, man, I haven't had a cough that hurt my chest in a long time. It felt like I had like bronchitis or something. So that was a little rough. But I was able to kind of shake that off Friday. I was totally fine. So, we had to set up. I just DJ'd the 8th grade dance. And so I had to do the setup for that. And, it was crazy, man. Like I said, Ryan had Blake had a fever on Friday, and then Ryan got a fever on Saturday. And then she had a rough day too, because she had an allergic reaction of IKEA, man. Y'all got to fix y'all fucking products. I'm going to say this. Okay. So almond bar, y'all have an almond bar. It says almond. All right. Doesn't say anything about peanuts. You should probably put that shit in big bold letters that it contains peanuts. All right. Because, these kids with allergies and stuff like that, thinking it's just an almond bar, because that's what you do. You get the replacement. You don't get peanut butter. You get almond butter.
Sure.
But you don't expect to have peanuts in a product that says almond. But yep, sure enough, it had peanuts in it. And so Ryan had to get the EpiPen, so she was mad at me for a couple of days because she got poked. And then she had, like I said, she had a fever. And then Raquel took a COVID test the other day on Sunday, and sure enough, she was like, I think I got COVID, and looked at the second line. I was like, yeah, you got COVID. And then Ryan took hers, and literally within 45 seconds, both lines were there. And Blake, yeah, it was nasty. But I was negative, but I'm sure I had it. So yeah, it dodged our household for 2+ years, right? And finally got it, man. So, but yeah, talk about this 8th grade dance, man. That was crazy.
Yeah,
DJ Graphic has returned.
How'd that go, man?
That was awesome, right? By the way, it was an email that went out. It's like, our very own Jason Salinas. It's like, my last name isn't Salinas, it's Jenkins. I made sure to wear this wonderful Modest Men jersey with my name in the back. It says Jenkins, so you can see that.
It definitely does.
Yeah, it says Jenkins. Yeah, there we go. So, anyway, yeah, it was fun. We had a 4.5 hour set. I think obviously like setting up takes the longest time. Shout out to Guitar Center and one of the customer service managers, Juan, over in San Mateo, helping me out with the equipment rental. And yeah, it was cool. So had a great time. The kids sent me a list, and I'm just gonna go through this list real quick because it was really funny. They had some random shit on there, and I was really proud of them. They had ABBA, like Waterloo, and Dancing Queen, and they went crazy when I played it. Right? They had a whole bunch of Bieber. They had who they had, Bee Gees. Like, it was just these random, like, it was random. I was actually very surprised. And I was like, you know what? You guys got some culture.
So how did this, like, did someone reach out to you and said the children have some things they want to hear?
Yeah, so I guess the 8th grade teacher in the classroom, they gathered a list of songs that they wanted to, hear or request or whatever. And so I got that list Friday afternoon. And so actually I take that back. It was Thursday night, and I was able to add some songs into my mix that I hadn't, worked. But I was always trying to wonder, what do 8th graders play? And so like, what do they listen to? Because you got to think about it. They were born in 2009, and so like right. Like 2009 was like Flow Rider and like Waka Flocka, right? Like My Dark Twisted Fantasy came out when they were born. Like, they don't even know about the old Kanye. Like, Watch the Throne came out in 2011. Like, it's a whole bunch of music that came in after that. Right?
They don't have a clue.
And so they don't have a clue. But, they know about Bieber. So obviously they had I'm looking at this list right now, Eeny Meeny, which I didn't play. But here's some surprises for you. So they wanted to hear I'll Be Missing You by Diddy and Faith and 112. Okay, random. They had Selena on there. They also had Cyndi Lauper. They had Jodeci, bro. Now you got to think, this is a Catholic school. All right, Catholic school. fuck you think I'm gonna play some Jodeci for? Y'all ain't grinding on here, man. Y'all ain't doing that, man. I was like, no, like, nope, not doing it. I want to keep this gig for the next 9 years. Hold on, okay, so
you ain't trying to put on every time I close my eyes.
Right. No, this one was Forever My Lady, okay, which that was the I'll Be Sure, joint. So for Kim Porter, rest in peace. That's who that was.
Jodeci.
For, so.
Come on.
Jodeci, right?
And yep. for the record, way back when we had the one gotta go, my wife was like, why you pick Drew Hill? Jodeci gotta go. I'm like, nah, you don't understand. Like, you obviously are too young to understand that Drew Hill don't exist without Jodeci. And I'm like, well, no, because I was like, come on, and she loved Casey and JoJo.
Okay,
and she was so quick to dismiss them over. I mean,
it was played at your wedding,
right? Of course. Over some Drew Hill. Yeah, I'm like, you dismissing Casey and JoJo over some Drew Hill? Then she did.
Well, I mean, listen, I listen to Drew Hill more now than I do like JoJo.
Well, sure,
like they have, right? Like they have survived the test of time, right? Like especially that first album. But no, I get it. Like I mean. But 92, 93.
But for them,
that first Jodeci album, of course, right?
Like I could see them requesting Casey and JoJo all my life. I could see them,
right.
But actual Jodeci songs, that's
Jodeci. No, Tears for Fears, Head Over Heels. Like I said, wait, what? But I'm proud of the parents. Okay, like I'm really proud of the parents because like they clearly know that music and that has to be from the parents. And so, yeah. So that was that, man. So I had a great time, man. The last 2 songs I finished up with was Careless Whisper, right? Told them to bring their parents on the floor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never want to dance again. Mm-hmm. And then the last song was our favorite when we used to hear this shit in the club. Closing Time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had to play it. I turned on the lights after that. So that was that, man. But yeah, that was a 4.5 hour set, man. It was great. I had a great time. The kids were great. Parents are great. And so I was really proud of that, and my wife, shout out to her and her crew because they did other decorations for it. So it was beautiful.
Very nice.
Let's see what else is going on, man. Look, I know you've been working out.
Trying.
JT, closing them activity rings,
closing them Apple Fitness Plus rings. I actually, my wife just suggested
awesome.
We were just doing yoga last night. And she's like, I can't work out before bed. Can we get up in the morning? So after this, I'm going to bed because we're gonna get up at 6 and work out. Before she leaves. So your boy's gonna be tired tomorrow.
Yeah, I know how that is, man. I've been missing them 5 a.m. workouts, man, this week because I'm usually there at the gym. Mm-hmm. And obviously I haven't been there, and so I've been getting up and running though. So today I ran just about 3 miles, and so I was really excited about.
Oh, that. I didn't even tell you. We found we picked up an elliptical off somebody's lawn the other day. So I have an elliptical in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
It works.
That's awesome.
It was at the end of somebody's driveway. It was last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, and my wife was like, a neighbor's got an elliptical at the end of their driveway. You should probably, she's like, text Amelia's dad Mike and see if he can go help you pick it up. I was like, cool. So we got an elliptical.
It's completely functional.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Look at you, get your fitness on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Working. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Hear that? I'm down 32 pounds, man, since January.
Very nice.
Shit's crazy. Yeah. And 17 since the start of EC3's program, May 1st. So I feel good. Clothes are really loosening up now at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, not in the shoulder or chest area, but just more in the bottom parts. And I don't have any facial hair right now, so it looks like my face is a little slimmer. So I was like, I'll work that. But man, it's crazy. We think about it, man. It's like everyone, it's difficult, right? Like it's hard. Sometimes they don't have the motivation to do it. I fight those demons in the morning. It's like, I don't want to do it, right? Like that alarm go off at 4 o'clock. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. I just want to sleep in the bed because everyone's resting, right? Mm-hmm. But if you got a goal in mind, set the intention, man, and go after it. Because once you're out of bed, it's it, right? You just do it, and then it'll be over with. And then, but you got the goal and the result. That's what you did. And as soon as you start seeing it in the mirror, it's a different story. So
right.
For anyone that's struggling to fucking encourage, like to go and do some changes, like drastic changes in their life, go ahead and do it. Just do it. You got your boys. Got your support.
Yeah, for sure. So, create a routine. Start a regimen. Keep it small. Keep it short. But try to stick to something like that's. I don't get up as early as you do, but I definitely make it a part of my routine when I get up. That as soon as the kid is out of the house, I'm working out. Like,
absolutely. Just there you go. It takes 30 days to start a habit, right? Sure. And think of like how many bad habits we've had. You know what I mean? Like, cancel those things out. And create some good habits, and stick to it. Track your progress to it. You know what I mean, and just take it one step at a time. So, yeah, super easy, man. But proud of you, brother.
Thank you. Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Fitness dads out here. Yeah. So, man, it's crazy. We are fantasy gurus, and last year was my first year being a fantasy commissioner. And so this news shocked the airwaves. How many
times have you won fantasy football?
I've only won fantasy once.
Okay, how about 2 times?
And I was back, and I've been in the championship twice. Okay. And so
I think I've only been in it twice too, and that's the only times I won.
Yeah. And so it was good times, man. Back in the day, like 2006, and then most recently in the championship, I was 2015, 2016. So yeah, I got mobbed on that last year too. That shit sucked. It was like one of those, like, Le'Veon Bell, like, scored 190 points that that never happened in a game ever, but it happened to me in the championship. And then you playing that consolation game, and it's like you score 150 points. It's like, you know what? I could have whooped on you, or you get Jonah grade and then pick him up and he ain't never played ever again after one good week. Right? Yeah. What happened? Jonah Gray went to Detroit after he left New England. I don't know what happened to him. So that was like Orlando Gary, right? He was with the Broncos, and they had that crazy run, right, where you had obviously TD, and then you get who was it? Was it Orlando Gary right after that? Then you have Ruben Drones, and then Peyton Hillis, right? Right. Yep. Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, they had all of them dudes that was on the offensive line for the Broncos, man, and during that time frame should be Hall of Famers. 100%. Because, like, you had never seen anything like that before. No. But yeah, we had both of them. We had Ruben Drones and we had Peyton Hillis, the White Rhino. So, but back to fantasy football, and it is crossed over into Major League Baseball a couple of weeks ago. So, Tommy Pham from the Cincinnati Reds and Jocpederson, Mr. Pearly Neck, Jocpederson, that plays for the San Francisco Giants. There was an incident that happened in the league, and during pregame, Tommy Pham walked over to the outfield, and they were talking, and he says, "Hey, you remember me?" He's like, "Yeah," and then he just slapped him in the face. So just slapped him in the face. Like 2022, we slapping motherfuckers out here. I guess that's a new trend. Who knew?
And the reason, right? And the reason why, it's a good one, right? It's kind of an unwritten rule in fantasy football. So I don't know. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it ever come to blows. But I guess the situation was he put a player who was only out for a week on IR so that he could get another player. Correct?
That's not first of all, that's not an unwritten rule. I'm just gonna say this. Not? We do that shit all the time in our league. It's not an unwritten rule. If you got a player out, you put him in IR. Especially the past 2 years where we had COVID, like this past year. So I'm league commissioner. And they don't, they say that people don't love their commissioners, man. My team loves me. That's like, this shit was fun. I made it fun. But yeah, like if you got an injured player, you put them in IR, you pick somebody else up. But I want to know, it had to be something more to that. And so I'm thinking that it was probably another league manager that actually dropped a player, and Jocpederson picked him up during waivers. Right. And so now you got another starting running back or something like that. And that's the only thing I can think of, because I just can't imagine like these dudes coming in blows because, he put Jeff Wilson Jr. in IR because he was injured. And then, which, by the way, Jeff Wilson Jr. wasn't even a starter last year. Like, I think he had one. The previous year, he had some great games. But last year, like, he was, a non-factor.
Either way, it was definitely something that rubbed him the wrong way. It obviously screwed him up. over for that week. It was obviously he was targeting a player, obviously, and probably was waiting his turn on the waiver wire. Maybe he was second or third on the waiver wire, and he just assumed that nobody was gonna pick him up before he did. And maybe Jocpederson's team was sitting there, and he was like, "Oh well,
first place or some shit." You know what I mean?
He's like, "Well, if I do this and do this, I can get this player, and it should be all right." But
hey, man, that's a part of being a league owner.
I mean, it was a smart move. It was,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like you out here doing these crazy trades, and like I've seen them in my league, and I shut some trades down. I was like, nope, we're not doing this. It's like for the integrity of the league, we gotta protect.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I just don't know. Mike Trout is the commissioner, and apparently Mike Trout said, "I don't know if I'm gonna be the commissioner next year." So.
But then
this dude got
he got suspended, right, for slapping him.
3 games. And so he missed the first game. He missed that game, and then he got suspended an additional 3.
And it looks like he got $100,000 fine as well.
Yeah, right. Because you're not paid for that too. So it's like, okay, so how much money did you lose, bro? Yeah, that's a lot of money, man. That's stupid. I like the fact that Jocpederson took 5 minutes to discuss exactly what happened.
That was the oddest part. Like he was so like I want to say like his attitude and how he was describing things was very much like a laid back surfer. Like I almost didn't think he was serious.
Yeah, right.
Like I thought he was just fucking around, but
right.
He was just like, well, and I'm like, this dude.
I mean, it wasn't a Tim Anderson, Josh Johnson.
It wasn't the same thing.
You know what I mean?
But I thought it was a joke until you see until he did slap him.
Like he walked over there and just like slapped him, bro. Like it was the wildest thing I've seen.
And you know what? Somebody else must have instigated Tommy to be like, I bet you won't go slap him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, right. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, I could see if it was like Derrick Henry or, like one of these prominent running backs, man. Like you picked up Kareem off of waiver wires or Dearness Johnson, right? Like, like that's what I'm saying. Like it was Jeff Hamilton. I mean, excuse me, Jeff Wilson. I'm about to say Jeff Hamilton. Jeff Hamilton is the guy that does all the NBA. Like he did all the jackets. Like the Kobe and the Jordan jackets, right? And he did the NBA 50th anniversary and the NBA 75th anniversary jackets.
So you were serious? It was over Jeff Wilson?
Yes, it was Jeff Wilson from right. I'm telling you, it was Jeff Wilson. Crazy. So yeah, I don't know, man. That is wild. So right now, it's speaking of. Sports and basketball. It's the NBA Finals. It's 1-1, 68 Celtics, 68-56 Celtics Warriors right now.
At this current time, it is
at this current time at halftime.
10:18 Eastern, 7:18 Pacific.
Right. This game, when we air this episode on Monday, we'll be through 2 more games after this, or at least through game 4. So our predictions are, at least we know the series won't be over with at that point. But what you got, man? Series, what are your predictions for this? What do you want to see? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of?
Well, so we are both from Cleveland, both rooted for the Cavs. We both rooted for LeBron. I don't like any team from Boston. And because of 2015 through 2018, we don't like the Warriors.
Right.
So
right.
It's not the finals I wanted to see. I was if anything, I'm hoping for good basketball. If anything, I'm hoping for a competitive series that doesn't have blowouts like how the Eastern Conference Finals was a blowout every game until game 6, I believe. So I mean, do I want to see the Warriors win? No. Do they have the pedigree? Absolutely. It's gonna. It's one of Shaq's famous sayings. It's all about the others. whose others are going to be more consistent. Game 1, Boston's others hit all their threes. Game 2, they did not. Game 1, Steph was on fire, then cooled off, I believe, was that game 1?
Okay. Yeah, because he hopped out 21 points in the first quarter, which was 6 of 8 from 3, which at that point was a finals record.
I think, it's about adjustments. Steve Kerr's a great coach. I do respect him. I don't hate Steve Kerr. Mike Brown's on the staff, even though he's going to Sacramento.
Kenny Atkinson.
Like it's an all-star staff on the Warriors, right?
For sure. Right.
We've talked about it outside of here. We hate Warriors fans. We know. I hate them. A lot of people hate Warriors fans. Can't fucking stand them.
Charles has a real hated.
So do I want to see them? Can the Warriors lose? So I feel bad that the Warriors fans don't get another fucking ring. Sure, but at the same time, I really don't give a fuck about Boston. I don't. And that makes fans too. Like, I do like Jason Tatum as a player. I actually hate Marcus Smart. I laugh at Al Horford because LeBron kept all the rings from Al Horford all them years. I don't.
Right. It's not a lot of people that ate. And
oh yeah, for sure,
the Eastern Conference, right? Yeah,
Paul,
like that.
It's a long list. Paul George, the Hawks, the Raptors, the baby dinosaurs.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of teams didn't eat because of Bron. So it's like Boston should win because they. Shout out to Coach, Coach Ime Udoka, who has made those dudes play defense. He be cussing them out. He got something out of them that Brad Stevens couldn't do anymore. So that's, props to him.
One thing was you don't have Gordon Hayward there. So that was my dude was loyal to a fault. Brad Stevens, I can't blame you, bro. That's like listen, Gordon Hayward is one of those players, man, where he definitely finessed his way through a couple of $100 million contracts. So I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I hope for good basketball because I really don't care who wins.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't.
Now, here's the thing. So, yes, we're hoping for great basketball, and these two teams are the best teams in the NBA for sure.
Because they were 1-2 defensively. Yep.
Yeah, defensively, right. It's something to say when you see. And I love Golden State the way they play basketball, okay? And it will be a different story if we didn't play them, as you alluded to, playing them 4 years in a row.
It's beautiful basketball.
I live out here, right?
It's movement, right? It's moving without the ball.
Yeah,
it's not isolation. It's back picks, cuts, bounce passes.
They do the do-si-do now, and the swing and free Steph Curry now, you know what I mean? Like, yes, I saw that. Because they do it. They swing your partner around and around, like they do that. And so, I live out here, man. Like, I remember going to the Warriors games, like, back in the day, especially because they sucked. And, I would like to see a young Clay and a young Steph. And always go see Bron play, you know what I mean? And that would be the games that they sell out was when, Bron came into town. I always wanted to go see Bron play. And it used to be a cheap ticket. You couldn't imagine, spending $150 to go see the Warriors play. Like, that was crazy. It was also made for a great date. Yeah, no, man. The tickets used to be like $35, $40, you know what I mean? Especially when everything being so expensive out here.
Little ass Oracle. Because I heard that arena was small.
And you can actually used to get some decent seats then. But yeah, man, 2014, 2015 season, man, created that environment. So now you can charge an arm and a leg for tickets. And so, they're a great basketball team, man. Steve Kerr, and shout out to Mark Jackson too, man, because he don't get enough credit, man. Mark Jackson, with Steve, you totally saw in the 2015-2016 team, like, Steve didn't have to coach at all. Like, they were already in place, right? Like, the foundation was laid already. They knew exactly who they were and what places they needed to be. In fact, I remember Iggy making a comment on it. He's like, I would just go sit down in Steve's chair and draw up a play. Like, that's how tight we were, Yeah, I mean, they, you know, the Sean Livingston's, Leandro Barbosas, you know what I mean? Like the David West, like they had a great team and great nucleus. And it sucks that we had to play them because I will be excited to watch them and cheer for them. But I can't cheer for them. I can't cheer for these fucking fans. And just for the record, and let it be known, and I got a lot of Warriors fans on this, and you already know how I feel about this. Warriors and the Boston fan base. Bottom line, just so I'm putting everything out on the table right now, okay? Just so we're clear, all right? Just so we're clear, all right? Now, if we need to get back to it, if I'm looking at the players, so I really like Jason Tatum. I really like Jaylen Brown. I really like the young nucleus that they have going on.
You know why I don't like Jaylen Brown? You know why I don't like Jaylen Brown?
Why?
He can't dribble.
But he drives to the hole. It's weird, right? Can't dribble, but he can penetrate. Well, right? Like, I mean, like it's a very strange thing. Like he gets to the rack, but he can't dribble. I mean, he's not my point guard. That's why Marcus Smart is the point guard. You know, Jaylen Brown from Berkeley. Yeah. You know, he's a baller. You know who they should have never gotten rid? They never should have got rid of Terry Rozier, but you can blame Kyrie for that. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, and that's the whole thing. That's a whole different story. Yeah, the Warriors, the way that they move the ball is what they, you know, these high school and college teams, you know, and NBA teams, if they're smart, you know, construct the way that they play basketball. Okay, you see that with Boston right now, the way that they move the ball. Like, you know, they don't move without the ball, say like the Warriors does, but you know, they definitely move the ball. It's not a lot of ISO ball. You know, the difference is that they got a lot of, you know, guys that can penetrate. So you have your Jason Tatum and obviously your Jaylen Brown. Defensively though, they're long and they're athletic. I mean, I will say this series is going 7. Chef is on his way to having a great series. You know, he's averaging 32 points over the first 2 games. Klay Thompson
is washed.
Was struggling.
Klay is washed right now.
Yeah. I mean, well, no. So in this game, as I was watching it, Klay had a run where he scored the last 12 points for the Warriors. And you know what he's having an effect. What bothers me about him though, like he's so streaky and he's still not 100%, but Klay still acts like Klay. And usually when the ball gets to Klay, the play usually ends with him shooting. And now he's trying to drive past somebody and he's not really blown by anybody, and he's still putting up. He still believes he is who he is, but in reality, he's a little bit like, those are catastrophic injuries that man went through, and he's just a step slower. But in his mind, he's still 2016 Klay. Well, I mean, those shots don't, you know, like, and I get, like I said, he is a streaky shooter. You know, Steph is a streaky shooter, you know what I mean? Like, and that's always been a knock on both of them, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, if Klay really wanted to take the shot attempts that he wanted to take, Klay could be easily average 30 plus points a game, because Klay Thompson is the best shooter on that team. He has been the best shooter on the team. He's been one of the best shooters in the league. I mean, you don't score 60 something points with 13 dribbles. You know what I mean? That's the type of game that he has. And so he doesn't necessarily need to maneuver. But what's hurting Klay right now is defensively. Oh, yeah. You know, because he can't usually take on the challenge of the best shooter, right? Or the best player on the team. And he can't move like that, especially when you tear your Achilles and when you tear your, you know, ACL, MCL,
the lateral
separate
quickness,
legs. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like that's through the window. So no, I mean, I get that. I mean, but yeah, it's Boston shown that they can win in Oracle, and so you know that if it goes 7, it's a toss up, man. It's a flip of a coin. I don't know. We'll see. Boston. What Boston needs to do though is they don't know how to close out games though. You know, like I've seen it against Milwaukee. I've seen it against Miami, especially like Game 7, being up 20 plus and literally, you know, coming down to a Jimmy Butler 3. You know, that he missed, which by the way, Jimmy should have took that shot. All right. It's just know that he kept him in that series. He absolutely. Take that shot.
I think Warriors in 7. I think what you just said is why I think they'll win. Unfortunately, they can close. They can dip into something that they've already been through. They know what it feels like to get to Game 7 in the finals. They know what it's like to win. You have to win.
Well, Game 7s in the finals aren't favorable to them.
Well, historically, no. But
yeah.
They've been there. Like, they've been in that game. They've been in that situation. They've been in that fight. And they'll be at home. They'll know the atmosphere. They'll know the moment. Some of them, obviously, Jordan Poole's and Wiggins, like a few of them have not. But for the most part, if it gets to 7, I say the Warriors. If Boston wins, I think it'll be in 6. If the Warriors win, I think it'll be in 7.
Right. Well, and it's funny because the Warriors, they have that third quarter that they're known for, and like the difference in the 2016 finals in Game 7, especially, is that we came out and was the aggressor. J.R. Smith had 8 points in the third quarter, like right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, that kept us in the game that we were down trailing at 7 at halftime. You know what I mean? So, like, that was the difference, too. If you could beat them to the punch in the third quarter. But, the way that it's funny because, like, with the way that Boston plays, with the way that they swing the ball, there's always someone open. But you can't have a game where you have, 25 from Al Horford and, 22 from Marcus Smart and then turn around and have 2 points from both of them. Right? Derek White has been a surprise, and Derek White has been a huge pickup for them. Tough defensively, can shoot, but he can't be your second leading scorer. And so in Jason Tatum, like, I still haven't seen him put his fucking foot down and say, you know what, this is my game, this is my series. And so I'm waiting on that moment, because he'll have a stretch, but it just seems like him and Jaylen Brown, like Jaylen Brown had a hot, what was it, the fourth quarter in Game 1, right? Where he scored 11 points, like the first 11 points for Boston, and that's when they went on that crazy run. And then he had a crazy start to the first quarter of Game 2. This particular game, in Game 3, he came out. He had 17 points and assisted or scored in like 25 of the 28 points that Boston has scored in Game 3. But I'm gonna need one of them dudes to be aggressive, continue throughout the rest of the game, though. It just. Right, like I don't know. Go to state of 7, Boston to 6. That's just it. It just seems that might be the case. But again, Boston is really good on the road, so it's a toss up. So yeah, this is Jason and Justin from the Modest Men Podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NBA and NHL playoffs, as well as Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all of your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and actions. BetOnline, where the game starts. Man, did you hear about this? And I don't know if you've seen this. It had to go back to Cal Ripken. There's a podcast coming out for it. Okay. Cal Ripken, Kevin Costner, and Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife. Yeah. So I had heard. It's been a long. I grew up. I was probably a big baseball fan, especially in the mid '90s. We lost the Browns, obviously, but we still had the Indians in the mid '90s. Right. But I heard about this probably later on. Okay. So what you're telling me is the rumor was that there was Cal Ripken and his streak, the consecutive games played, and allegedly he was late to a game because he found his wife with Kevin Costner. And I don't know if so they delayed the game by air quotations, but we're on video. They delayed the game by a power outage so that he can get there so that the streak could continue. Right. So I don't even know if he was there because he was either, from the rumor has it that he was either in jail or he was actually injured. And so it was a power outage that occurred. And this game we're referencing is August 14, 1997. So there was a partial electrical failure at Oriole Park in Camden Yards. And so if the lights along the first base line was out, and so they were playing the Seattle Mariners, and they actually got it working, but it was actually at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and Lou Piniella, great Lou, said that the Mariners manager said that, well, we got a doubleheader, so we're not going to play this game. And so we had already changed clothes, and my guys had showered. We got to our hotels. We're good. We're not playing this game. So, but yeah, the rumor has it that Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife and Kevin Costner, she wanted to see the Field of Dreams, and I mean, it happened.
Well, and so
Cal found out, right?
I mean,
allegedly, right? And he sucker punched him and might have injured his hand, and which I needed to see the reports, or he went to jail once. So I mean, yeah.
But they've never agreed to interview about it or do kind of radio or TV about it. I was looking at the article you sent me.
Right.
It says Cal's claiming that he was at the stadium during the power outage, that he was in the building. Kevin Costner's claiming he's never spent more than 10 minutes with then his wife, that it was only maybe 10 minutes of talking that he's ever spent time with her. Like they've stuck to their guns about it not ever being an altercation or an involvement, or excuse me, what was the Jada Pinkett word with August
Alsina? Yeah.
So it wasn't anything like that, but like it makes sense.
When there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. And Kyle and his wife ended up getting divorced, a few years later. But it was something. And when there's smoke, there's fire. I do feel.
I mean, there. So right. There's probably some truth to it.
Yeah. Right. I just. As though these stories that never, like that will quietly put to bed, right? Because who wants to see, what was the other movie? Bull Durham, right? Kevin Costner,
Bull Durham,
right? The bodyguard. Who wants to see him get sucker punched, right? Or Cal Ripken, who was, like MLB's, Iron Man, right? Like, who wants to hear that story, right? We do, of course. But that's not a good story for them.
He was definitely Major League Baseball's Hulk Hogan,
for sure, right?
He was All-American. He was, obviously his dad played. Everything about Cal Ripken Jr. was baseball, was America, was.
Can you imagine just like the actual time frame of that, like the big push in baseball? Because you had that right where Cal was going for Lou Gehrig's record. With 21-31, and then you had McGuire and Sosa chasing Roger Maris's record, right? Like you had all these crazy storylines going on and so obviously Sosa and McGuire they've been buried like 30 feet under due to the steroid allegation, but they haven't said anything about Cal, and so I think obviously this story, they sure as hell with Bud Seeley was like, this story is not coming out. So, but something happened. So, yeah,
it's something.
Something.
If they can, like you said, if they can bury Pete Rose, if they can bury all these things that have happened,
right?
And McGuire's coaching, all the when it's to their benefit, they definitely make sure that they let things slide. But when it's somebody they don't like, when it's Ricky Henderson or Barry or somebody that they don't like, it's curtains.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, and we also need. So we shout out the Mariners. We need to put some respect on that team. And my God,
shout out to Jay Buhner. Shout out to Edgar Martinez,
Tino.
Shout out Tino Martinez.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Jay
Buhner
on that squad,
A-Rod.
right? Randy Johnson. That's my dude, Jamie Moyer, right? Like, it's a whole bunch of teams, like that I think that team, the 95 team, your 95 to 97 team, they didn't eat because of the Indians, but damn, they were great teams in Seattle. Yep, and the kid, of course, and one of the greatest players of all time.
I was going to say, one of my favorite games was Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
Oh, yeah. Right? Great game. Great game. I don't know if, did we mention that during the segment? Yeah.
I forgot Ken Griffey Jr.
Right. World Series baseball was my shit, though, on Genesis. World Series 95, that was like one of the that was a real simulated baseball game. Like I said, Sega, they came through with them games. They had some real people in R&D. It's like, look, we got to make this shit realistic. So yeah, I mean, they had the spin move on NFL 90, but Joe Montana 94 though. That's like, you ain't never seen nobody with the spin move. That shit was crazy.
It was a slow spin move.
I mean, it was, but it was better than the one that they had on Madden. Madden was terrible back in the day. By the way, did you see John gonna be on the cover? It's only right, man. John gotta be on the cover of this, right?
It's only right.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's two covers, right? Or three covers.
Three covers. See, they got three different covers. So one is gonna be the all Madden, and then you have it's all three different segments. So you have one, but John is on the cover of all of them. But they coming out with a whole bunch of new stuff. So like Field Sense is something that's going to be exclusively for the PS5, which welcome to the PlayStation 5 club, my brother. That will be a game that I hope that you get, and so we can play. But Field Sense,
I'm getting the PlayStation Plus. So
okay,
we'll be in there.
Yeah, Field Sense is going to be what they used to do back in the day. You remember they used to have like the 3 screens back in the day, and then where you can target which players that you would throw to, but it's kind of gonna be like a little ode to that. But it's going to be where if you're throwing the ball, you can throw a bullet, you can lob, but in the direction of where you want to throw it to, you couldn't have full control of it. Now, once you release the ball, you can literally use your right thumbstick and indicate it over to an area where you want your receiver to catch it. So, the running game is going to be much improved as well too, to where somebody can cut without stopping their full traction. The receivers and cornerbacks going to have.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, they should catch up because FIFA is doing that. Like, you can lead somebody where you want to pass the ball.
Right, for sure.
You can direct. It's not just kicking it just to make a pass. Like,
exactly.
You can kick it to a direct area or float it in. Mm-hmm. You can now use the right thumbstick, and you can activate other players that are around you to move a certain way. So I appreciate that Madden's going to do that too.
Exactly. And I mean, even it's like the cornerback receiver battles, like there's more control of that too. Like, if you're pressing, like you could put your receiver on the ground and vice versa, like how, depending on how the release of your receiver, you can, get up the field and leave your cornerback or the DB in the dust. So okay. Oh, did he get fouled?
So lastly, I think when we were discussing things, I think I wanted to talk about a couple of celebrity news. Cause a few things have happened. So I mentioned one, and then you had a follow up. So I guess our last couple topics will be celebrity related, and I wanted to just touch on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Oh, this is interesting, right? I feel like I got to throw my disco light for this one.
Like it got messy. I actually forgot who she was. I didn't realize that was the girl who was in Aquaman, right? And the whole thing was like it captured. We're fans of Johnny Depp here. Like I had Aaliyah watch Edward Scissorhands, and we watched even the musical that was terrible, Sweeney Todd. We even watched that one.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I've seen pretty much everything that Johnny Depp's done. So I would say we're definitely fans. We even watched Fantastic Beasts. He was in the second one. Right. And then, it's all these things started swirling around. All these things started swirling around, and he got dropped from doing the third Fantastic Beasts. And then he got dropped from Pirates by Disney.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like because of all the allegations and because of everything that had come up, Disney dropped him right away. Like before he could even prove his innocence, Disney was like, "We're done." They wiped their hands. They, we ain't got nothing to do with Johnny Depp the actor. And I was like, oof, that's rough. Like,
yeah, for
what
sure.
if you come out of this as the good guy? Then you start hearing about, well, he wasn't the abuser, she was.
Right.
And, you know, originally she came out and said, you know, he would drink and do cocaine and he would be abusive and he.
What was the infamous part of what she did? Well, she took a shit in the bed.
Yeah. Like, turns out she was the abuser.
By the way, Golden State
so,
is they just tied this game up. Boston was,
yeah,
of course, right? Third quarter.
So. And so I heard, you know, Johnny was like, I'll never go back to Disney. They could offer me $350 million, which is what he actually had made in total for all of the Pirates, for all the Pirates movies. He's like, even for $350 million, I would never go back. You know, he was like, I believe that they've done this to me, and you know, my name is ruined. And he, you know, he had all. And I was like, maybe he's not the bad guy,
right.
Or maybe they're both disgusting people. And you know, so it was what he sued for $50 million. She sued for $100 million. It went on for what, 6 weeks? It was in the news.
Yeah. I mean, it was
in between us doing all this,
right?
Like, and then to finally end it all, he won barely.
Well, they both won.
So they both won.
They both won, but he
received more. But he received more money,
right?
In the end, and I don't like. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like every day, I would look at my wife scrolling on the phone. You know, all the depositions and all. It was wild.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it was $10 million. It was $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages.
Yeah, so like, and then she had won for I think like 3 or something like that. So like, but again, the difference of that is going to be a lot. So she gonna have to fork over some money. Yeah. So the internet, obviously, which seemed like a pro Depp internet, right? They was making fun of her, and I guess like during the deposition, she was. The stories, and she started to get crossed up, and Johnny Depp had really good attorneys. Like that's what I know of for a fact of what I've kind of tuned into. Like he had really good attorneys, and so yeah, man, allegations, you know, catch up with you. They both won, so somebody was telling the truth. I think they both were, but you know, it was a debacle. Yeah. So what's next with Johnny Depp? I know he's a rocker. I know they what was it? The Savage. That's, you know, when they show the Macy's commercials, right? For, you know, which is really good. I don't know if you know about it. What you been using for your cologne? What's your rotation?
I have not bought cologne in a long time. Right now, I just grab whatever. Honestly, like I'm out that game. Like I grab whatever's on the shelf. So I got what is it? It's Right Guard Swagger or whatever. It's just it's just body spray. Just because honestly, like I don't really go nowhere that I got to use cologne anymore.
Man, you better smell nice for your wife, brother. You know, keep leave it in the air. So when she walks, like.
But I mentioned something the other day. I think we were in Disney at Epcot, and we were in France, and they had a couple colognes in one of the shops or whatever, and I mentioned it or whatever, and you know, hint day, but I told her a couple colognes that I might have wanted that we can get from Macy's or whatever, but I haven't owned anything since what was it? It was Sean John. It was It was something by Sean John, like way back in the day. Like, I'm looking right now. It was called
Unforgivable.
Yeah,
Unforgivable. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that joint. Yeah. That was actually really good, actually. Yeah. What's in my rotation right now? So Bleu de Chanel is a classic. That is a staple. It's has cedar and grapefruit, so that's also like the citrus notes to it. And also what is my last one? It's a nice little flower. I forgot the name of it, but anyway, it's 3 notes to it. I'm gonna tell you all about it because I used to have, you know, a fragrance shop, at my Nordstrom when I was in men's furnishings. That was my joint. So, staple. It's a good one. So that's a one to check out. I also have Terre de Hermes. So that's a really good one. That definitely has a strong cedar joint.
You know what? I think I did have the Sauvage Dior in the shop in France in Disney, and I really didn't like the smell.
Okay. Yeah, so Sauvage is a nice little it's like you got your grown man on with that one. So I always like citrus joints. So citrus joints are because they always just remind of fresh, right? So like the Versace Man, that was a good one, or Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. What was another one I used to use? I used to have all of the Allure from Chanel. I used to have a ton of Chanel. Let's see what else. But anyway, back to Johnny Depp on that. Yeah, he wasn't in that commercial for Sauvage because I know he used to be. So they removed him. So just something. Yeah, it's crazy. He probably will start gaining back his other spots now. So yeah, and then your boy Nick Cannon from Drumline was in the news today. So
listen, Nick Cannon is beloved in our house. I mean, and well, with us too. You got Wildin' Out.
Yeah.
And now Masked Singer. Like, we don't miss a season of Masked Singer.
America's Got Talent. You know what I mean? Like,
Terry replaced him.
Oh no, I know, but he was on there. Yeah.
He was on there too, sure, right? He was on Nickelodeon for a while before he started acting up. But I did not know, and you brought it up to me. I did not know he had this many kids. Like, I had to look it up.
Oh shit! It's
for real. Look it up.
It's a little wild.
Because I knew he had two. He had two from Mariah.
Right.
And
I think he had one in the previous relationship before that. So what's that? 3, right? Okay. 3. Okay, so 3. But then this is where it gets a little crazy. Okay, so Nick Cannon had a set of twins, and then he come to find out he had another baby on the way during that time frame. And so the baby was named Zen, and that baby just passed away a few months ago. He was on the show and he talked about it. He had a rare, I think, heart condition or something like that, which is super sad. But then he had another baby, or one on the way, with Brie Teresi, who is Johnny Manziel's ex-wife.
Right.
Which is wild. And now it was just reported that he has this 9th child on the way with the baby mama that had the set of twins. And so, yeah, he just getting them out the way, man. Listen, man, 2 is exhausting. I don't know how the fuck you gonna do 9, right? I don't care. You got a lot of money.
It was 2 from Mariah. Then it was 2 in 2017.
Okay.
And then by 2020, that's when it was like they kept popping up. So he had.
So wait. So he's had 5 kids since 2019, 2020.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had to look it up, because I was like, wait a minute. Like, every time I kept scrolling, I'm like, and just thinking about the timeline, like, he was bouncing back and forth between these models and having children by them, and he was already moving on to another model or another girlfriend. And it's, man, 9.
We just gonna say this. I'm gonna need Nick Cannon to strap up, and this is the cautionary tale. Okay, like, that's a lot.
He can't never stop working.
No, not at all. That's a lot of money. All right.
They even tried to take him off of TV.
Right.
And he back on TV. He was like, I got kids.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that he was off the air, and yeah, it was that was wild. I totally forgot that actually even happened, but because he's back on TV now. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a little wild. Hey, strap up though, man. Like, hey, this ain't the way to go. There's some real things out there still. I mean, talk to Magic Johnson.
The positive is he's taking care of all of these situations. Yeah. But the negative is he keeps getting in these situations and he doesn't stay with these women, and then they bear children with him. And it's like, bro, like, commit.
Like, I mean, yes. It's like they have commercials for Trojan, you are a really rich man. It's like, you know, you got people who look up to you on these, you know, when you doing these shows like Masked Singer, because you a black man. It's like, who is really, you know, a celebrity. It's like, you can't be out here with 9 kids with 8 different baby mamas, you know, like,
well, 6 or whatever.
6, whatever. 5, it's still a lot, you know what I mean? Like, especially in our community too, where this also happens quite often. Yeah, man, do better, bro. That's rough. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it had to be talked about because I was like, my God. Yeah. In certain regards, you have people proud because it's like, man, look at Nick Cannon with all these models. But in another one, it's like, man, we dads, bro. We know what it is. That shit is rough.
It's not right. There's no way you can be a good parent to all 9. There's just
not at all. It's that's a little crazy.
Because he works, like, he's so busy. Like, there's no way that he can commit to being a perfect dad to all these children. Mm-hmm. It's just,
it's hard. It's hard to be with one, man. You know, it's hard to be with 2. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah. Hey, man, Father's Day is coming up, man. Shout out to you, brother, for being a great dad.
Shout out to you, sir.
Yeah. So we have some great examples out there, man. So, yeah, it's a little wild. So yeah, I get it though. That's a lot of responsibility, especially having kids, man. So, you know, for all these cautionary tales out there, you know, was it Dave Chappelle's son wanted, you know, be Nick Cannon, right?
Right.
Update on this game. Ooh. 90-86. So Boston had a 13-point lead at halftime. And it's actually, they just went up by 7. So Grant Williams just hit a 3 in the corner. Like, they're always open, but Steph is playing out of his mind. He has 15 points in the third quarter. Just real quick, Clay just hit a 3 just now. 38 seconds left. Let me just talk about this real quick, because you know Stephen A been getting owned, right? Have you been watching it on First Take? Oh, your man.
Boy, hey, listen. Freaking shout out to JJ Redick.
JJ Redick, man. I love JJ Redick, bro. Like, hey, that dude.
He has been going for Stephen A's neck. And not just on First Take. It could be on Greenie's show, right, or on the show before First Take. JJ Redick. JJ Redick is coming for that man's hairline. Like, in a way that I don't think he's been challenged since left.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's been placating to Stephen A. And, you know, Stephen A. goes out here and says what he wants and isn't afraid to approach people. And the players now are smart enough, are savvy enough with social media and being able to speak and being able to do what we're doing in podcast format, whether it's Draymond or CJ McCollum or JJ or All the Smoke. Like, these guys
Big
are
Perk,
now,
you know what I mean? Which I appreciate Big Perk, right? Like,
these
I love
guys
Perk
now. They are now smart enough to come back at this dude, and it is chef's kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great, man. I love the way that their demeanor, man, when they be on the set, you know, on the set. And JJ like sit up and he'll just like look at him. Like, yesterday he like flipped his like pin cap. And I'm like, yesterday was a rough day for Stephen A. Smith. I don't know, but today is the 8th. So y'all need to check out the 7th, June 7th episodes of First Take and watch Stephen A. get roasted by CJ McCollum and JJ Redick. Like, he was off. Like, Swagoo got on him. Like, something was going on with Stephen A.'s personal life. Molly was like, hey man, like, he talked about Russell Westbrook being at the press conference for Darvin Ham. Like, it was a bad thing, bro. I don't know why he there. I said, what you mean you don't know why he there? What? What? Like, it would be disrespectful if he wasn't there and if he was in town, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's like, well, he's not going to be part of their future. What does that have to do with anything other than him going to go support his new head coach, bro? Like, he was so all over the place yesterday. And, like, leave it to JJ and CJ McCollum being out there, man, and roast this dude, man. I actually, love the fact that Max used to get on him, right? Like Max didn't hold no punches, bro. Like, we always wondered what it was gonna be like with Skip. Him and Skip was that was a weird dynamic. You know what I mean? They did for so long, but, especially when Skip started, obviously, going on his rampage to hate on LeBron, right? And making it whatever topic that he has to, try to tarnish this man. But, Max always brought a fresh perspective, and he also brought a perspective from black athletes, and which was always an interesting and refreshing take for me. So yeah, I mean, considering in basketball is 85% black, right? In football is 70% black athletes, and so Max was. But yeah, they got Mad Dog Russo on there, which I mean, I used to listen to Mad Dog on sports on Sirius, right?
Sirius, yeah.
But yeah, right. Like that was cool. But he's been on there and he saying some old like shut up and dribble type shit. And it's like, man, y'all got these dudes out here for no reason. Like, nah. I would love to hear the takes, because like if you think about like RJ and with Perk and with CJ and JJ and all these guys who played in the league before, they always bring the take of the experience part, I mean, which none of us will ever really be able to speak to, right? Whatever agenda you got to talk about, like Stephen A can never bring the perspective of being an NBA player or a professional player. And that's the part and the element that like is added to these when you got these guys on here. Like RJ was talking about it yesterday about Adam Silver talking about shortening the season. It's like, what you mean shortening the season? It's like, we've already shortened the season. You got players still getting hurt. You know what I mean? It's like you make millions of dollars. You still are having players, doing the load management things. Yeah. Like, it's like, nah, man, go out there and go bust your ass for these people who come up to share this to see you watch, and play at these games, man, who spend their hard-earned money for that. It's like, those are the risks that you take, like, and then you have these stats, man. Like, I say, no. Yeah. It was a great take, but I appreciate those perspectives. So yeah, Stephen A about to get off the radio soon, though. I imagine
he's not.
He need to take a he need to take a vacation. But maybe that's what ESPN got these guys on there for. It's like, look, your job is to roast Stephen A. It's like, maybe that's Stephen A's role now. Maybe who knows, man? How you can never tell. So
it makes for good TV.
It does make for great TV for sure. So, because I didn't know what it was going to be like after that. So, what do you take? First take or Undisputed? Which one?
Probably Undisputed.
Okay.
They have a really good chemistry, and they play off each other really well. We'll turn it up a notch, but I don't think it doesn't bother me. It's just a lot. Like, First Take is a lot because it's changed from what it used to be, so I don't enjoy it the same. So I would I definitely even in podcast form, I definitely listen to more episodes of Undisputed than I do First Take. Sometimes, like, Stephen A gets on my nerves. Too much Stephen A gets on my nerves.
You're right. Because it's always extra every time he's on the camera, right? Because you look at NBA Countdown, the same kind of deal, man. Get Up or Colin?
I like Colin.
Okay.
He's controversial, but in a good way. He knows what he's doing, and he's really good at it. I appreciate that he's let Joy do more. And
shout out Joy Taylor
and expand her role.
I was hoping you would talk about Joy Taylor.
He lets all sorts of people do when he's out. Doug Gottlieb does a good job. Nick Wright does a good job.
I do not like.
Some people don't. But
I do not like Doug. Doug is a little rough for me.
But the premise of the show, I like his show. I like the format. I like how it flows. He doesn't always have guests, but when he does, they're good ones.
Oh, for sure.
He's expanding. He's got his own podcast network now.
Volume Sports.
With Draymond. It's he's I appreciate and respect what he's doing, because he's carved a niche when for a while I wasn't sure if it was going to work when he left ESPN.
Right.
And he's definitely come up,
for sure,
in a way that I don't think it would have worked like that for ESPN.
No, not at all. I mean, he has his freedom for sure. I love Colin. Colin is awesome. I really like Get Up though. Get Up is I mean, Get Up is a great show.
Get Up is a good show.
Get Up is a great show. First thing first. I've watched First Things First for a long time, and I actually miss Chris Carter on there because CC always had that. CC knew sports. You know what I mean? Like, he Hall of Famer, of course, you know what I mean? So his bread and butter is always going to be football, but he knew sports. And so, like, I really appreciated his takes from there. However, they've done a great job. Broussard, shout out Chris Broussard from Cleveland, Ohio. I would love to get Chris on here, man. I would love to get Nick on here. There's a lot of people on Fox Sports that I would love to for us to have a conversation with, man. So at some point, but yeah, they got a great Virginia Woolf and Kevin Wilds and all of them. So that's a great show, man. Great. So episode number 10. This is a Rap Brother.
In the books.
This has been fun.
Yeah, it's always fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the disco light going on.
That is, you don't need that. Out of control.
That's all I got.
Always,
I had that boy in my background, right? Like, and so it had the what was it? The Cupid Shuffle I threw on, and to the left, and then I threw the wobble on. And like a few of the kids, like they knew the song or whatever. But I gotta say this because it was really funny to me. So they were singing, because this is a singing group, right? So those songs that they were playing, and they was all singing bust out the song. And so, like, what happens when you turn on the music when you singing?
You get louder,
right? Exactly. The kids just stopped, and they looked at me like, "What happened?" Like they literally like stopped singing, turned around and looked at me, and I had to grab the mic. I was like, "No, you guys keep singing." I turned it down so we can hear you guys. And it's like, and they all like was confused about it. I said, I don't know, man. I felt like we did that when we were kids, man. We used to go to concerts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like crowd control, just working the crowd.
Well, I think they just didn't expect you to turn the music down. Like, they didn't expect that to happen. So they probably,
I know. They thought they got in trouble.
Something happened. Yeah.
It's like, oh no. And they thought they were in trouble, man. You got some shows to watch, man. Stranger Things just came out. The Boys just came back out. I have not watched the episode of The Boys yet. I just started. We're like episode 3 of watching Stranger Things. So, I mean, which is crazy. And I gotta say this, man. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I don't know if I had a tolerance or a gut for like gory things anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like scary movies. Like I laugh at scary movies typically, but like I just don't be want to watching that shit when I'm going to sleep though. You know what I mean? Like, it's just when you watch The Boys, right? They don't leave out. They don't. It's very things are exploding. People are exploding. It's right away. Yeah. I mean, it's for real, and that's what I think Rock was talking about when she watched Doctor Strange, which comes out on my birthday on streaming platforms. It was the gory factor, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's like this reminded me of The Boys. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but I mean, Deadpool didn't seem like that. Like it was gory, but it didn't. Like, it was fun. Like, you know what I mean? Obi-Wan, Moby, you could get stumped by Obi. Every time I just see Obi-Wan, I just think
Obi
of that
Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Yeah. Real name, no gimmicks. That's why I ain't got no rap name. Name's Obi Trice. Anyway, we got some guests coming up soon. I can't tell you who's coming up because I got a shitload of guests coming up. So just stay tuned. It's gonna be a surprise for you. So, but thank you again for tuning in to us. Appreciate you. Tell your friends about it. Social love and support.
Rate us, review us 5 stars.
So, I got a great background this time too, so like I wanted to brighten up the background now, Tidmore wearing his Rick and Morty shirt, which is nice. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Did Rick and Morty. I said, now I think about the Soulja Boy song. Right? Soldier.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all. Y'all have a good one.